Hi guys, welcome to another video to my channel and to my day. And this video, I really don't know what's gonna come out of my mouth because it's hot off the press. It's as I'm thinking about these things right now. No planning, no checking anything out, no anything. Stream of consciousness stuff. But I think I want to talk about things like cosmic balance, karmic debt, and that sort of thing. And what brought me to think about this is I was thinking about how in nature we see this rule of balancing, don't we? Now, we're told things like, nature abhors a vacuum. We know that water finds its own level. We see in nature this principle of things putting themselves right, achieving their balance, achieving their level, achieving a harmony between things. And then I thought about the Sephirah Tiferet on the Tree of Life, which, if you know the Tree of Life, is right in the center. It's like the junction point for all of the paths that lead from all of the Sephirot on the Tree of Life. And its name is beauty. And its purpose, well, one of its purposes, it's the junction point where the world of the above, the world of spirit, the world of non-manifest things, interfaces and meets with the world of manifest existence. And that is both in the physical worlds, but also in the worlds of our beingness as humanity. Tiferet is the place where that of us which is divine fuses with that of us which is human, our human psyche, if you like. And a beautiful analogy of Tiferet is it's the place where divinity reaches down and humanity reaches up and their fingers touch. It's the place where the two worlds, the world of non-manifest and manifest, become that which they really are, one world. It's the point where they touch, where they meet. So again, Tiferet is a balancing point. So the more I think about this, the more I see the principles of balance in everything, both spiritual and physical. And also, if we follow the Hermetic teachings, we will be familiar with the principle as above, so below, that there's a mirroring. And again, where there's a mirroring, there will be a point where both of those mirrored images meet. So we know that there is a point at which a perfect harmony is reached. And either half of the balance of that perfect harmony in and of itself is incomplete. Okay. So if there's the principle of physical balancing and cosmic balancing, what are the implications for us as beings who exist both in the spiritual realms and in the physical realms? And I was thinking of lots of things are coming into my mind, like, energy can't be created or destroyed, it can only be transformed, and all sorts of quotes and sayings relating to balancing kind of are flowing through my mind. And I thought about, I've talked in the past about how our thoughts are something. They're not nothing, our thoughts. When we think something, when we create a thought, we are creating an expression of our own energy. We are transmitting it out. We are like radio transmitters, and our thoughts are broadcast from us, created within us, broadcast from us out into the universe. They are energy. Okay, so if our thoughts are energy, an energy cannot be destroyed, then what we think is having an impact, isn't it, in the universe around about us, both positive and negative. So we are continually putting out, by our very being, we are putting energy into the universe. Now you might say, well, if it can't be created, where's it coming from? A whole other video, but there is a esoteric theory that as divine beings, we draw energy from the great unmanifest, that we draw from the limitless, we draw energy from source, we draw energy from an inexhaustible supply by the very fact that we are divine sparks and we are linked in to the undrainable ocean that is divinity. So that's where our energy comes from. That's where our ability to pour thought energy into the universe comes from without depleting that which we are as beings. That's just one explanation. But okay, if we are pouring energy into the universe in the nature of our thoughts, and they have consequences, and of course, the same can be said for our actions. Our actions in this world, they obviously have consequences. Then what happens if the amount of negative energy, or let's rephrase that, what if the amount of energy that produces negative results is much greater being poured into the universe than the energy that has positive results? What if the balance gets really out of kilter? What if there's way more negative energy than there is positive energy? What happens? So again, I'm thinking about this universal, this cosmic law of balancing. And then I thought of, karmic debt and how the principles of karma are that, very simply, that we reap what we sow, that we experience the consequences of our own actions, whether in this life or in other lives. But that didn't answer the question for me, because that still doesn't necessarily explain what would happen if there's way more negative energy being poured into the universe than positive. And also, for me, learning about the implications of my actions and experiencing the energy of my actions are not necessarily the same. And so I might gain learning from something without having experienced the full impact of the negative energy of something. At least I think that's possible. So it could be that I meet my karmic requirements, but that the energy that I originally produced is not entirely accounted for, if you like. Now again, bear with me, because this is all coming out of my mouth, right? As it's coming through my mind. I'm not trying to justify this, or I'm not trying to validate it with any, expertise coming from anywhere. So then I thought about the various Christs within humanity. Now, in the UK, we're mostly familiar with Jesus Christ, okay? And a lot of people think that is a name, but it isn't. It's Jesus the Christ, because Christ is from the Greek. It's the anointed one, or the chosen one. And in the history of humanity, there are many named anointed ones, many named Christs. And they will often have a very similar life story. Like if you look at the life of Jesus, if you look at the life of Horus, if you look at the life of Mithras, Zarathustra, and there are others which I can't think of right now, but you will see a similarity that they all in their lives have similar life experiences. Now, as you know, my background is Christian, and I was thinking about the teachings of the Christian church that Jesus takes away the sin of the world, okay, and that Jesus appeases the wrath of God, the wrath of a righteous God, and through his sacrifice, humanity is free of the consequences of sin. Now, a lot of people will struggle with that, and they'll say it's so much mumbo jumbo. But what if we change the terminology, and what if we say that forgiving the sin of the world is like balancing energy? What if the Christs of humanity are like release valves? They're vents that balances energy that would otherwise be harmful or even fatal to the development of humanity. What if the wrath of God is simply unbalanced energy? And what if the sacrifice of the sacrificed gods is simply the balancing of the negative and the positive energy? So how would that occur? Well, I don't know, because it's certainly not in the giving of a life. I think it's to do with it's the principle involved. It's the light balancing the darkness, I suppose. It's what happens when a hole is punctured in a vacuum and the air rushes in to restore balance. It's what happens when a dam is breached and water returns to its own level. It's the restoring of harmony within the nature of things. Cosmic balance restored. So yeah, those are the thoughts that are with me at the minute. That we may learn our lessons without having to pay the full consequences of them. And that this is the gift of the sacrificed gods, the restoring of balance and harmony. And it's interesting to me that the sacrificed gods all sit on the tree of life in the Sephira Tiferet. That's where they belong, at the balancing point of the tree. So when I think about these things, okay, it makes me understand the nature of religious teaching so much more. And when I look at it in this way, some of the things that I would find unbelievable when I take the Bible stories at face value begin to make a lot more sense. When we translate those stories into cosmic principles, we begin to see something that could quite easily be possible or even probable. Anyway, I'm going to stop now. And thanks for listening. Speak to you guys soon. Bye for now.